Welcome to TRS Clips, India's fastest learning portal. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell icon. Let's dive straight into it, sir. We're talking a lot about geopolitics nowadays on the Indian internet. And I think, at least from what I can tell on your Twitter, that's one of the goals, to educate the Aam Janta about geopolitics. So I'd love to hear about geopolitics from you, sir. Like, for someone who doesn't know anything about geopolitics, where would you begin that explanation?
I would begin by, telling people that we have had a history of invasions in India, and we have a history of fighting back. And the way our immediate geopolitical surroundings, geostrategic surroundings are changing, I think it's time for India to be more aggressive, take the front foot, and actually start not reacting, but preempting things in our immediate neighborhood. Afghanistan is burning. What are we doing in Afghanistan? Pakistan is getting unsettled very fast. China is taking interest. Iran is taking interest. Turkey is involved. The United States of America has repositioned itself. What is going on, and how will it in the short term and long term impact India? Is in a nutshell, is what I would like to sort of talk about, and that is my focus generally nowadays.
What is the scenario for the near future, sir? Like, with the COVID pandemic happening all over the world, what are we looking at, say, in the next 10 to 20 years, like, according to you?
I think I have very strong reasons to believe that, this entire COVID thing is, it's a bioweapon, which is what even the US President Joe Biden, he did not say it in so many words, but he did say that this needs to be investigated, and the investigation results will be out shortly. What actually you asked specifically about COVID, so let me tell you that, what worries me is that this virus is geographically sensitive. It's like almost, and I don't want to make light of it because millions of people have died, but it's like it's got a GPS attached to it. So in Indian Punjab, let us say we talk about Atari, which is our side of the border in Indian Punjab, there is a problem. But in Vaga, which is 200 meters ahead of Atari, 300 meters ahead, similar problems don't exist. While there is COVID in Pakistan, there is no doubting it. So in West Bengal, there is a certain strain of COVID, and this COVID is not to be found in Bangladesh. If you look at Uttar Pradesh, you have a strain of COVID, which is in Gorakhpur. But few kilometers ahead is Nepal, and you don't have the same strain of COVID in Nepal. I do not know. I'm not a virologist. I'm not a trained scientist, but these things set me thinking. So 20, 30 years down the line, I don't know what is going to happen, but down the line, I think we are going to have more mutations, and this is going to be used further, not just COVID. I'm saying not just coronavirus, any other virus, because it leaves very little telltale signs. There is no destruction of property. It is targeted and it is stable. This is the perfect weapon, yeah. So I think China and other world powers are going to work more and more on this.
Yeah, we had the historian and astrophysicist Abhijit Chavda on the show, and I had a detailed discussion with him about the same topic, and he echoed the same thoughts. He had his own version of it. He's a scientist, so he kind of broke it down even from that perspective. And I think you mentioned that you're not a biologist or virologist, but he spoke a little bit from that perspective, and he agrees completely. And I think that's the narrative that's kind of making it to mainstream media nowadays. People are realizing what's happening in the world, so. But since you mentioned this word called weapon, it's a bioweapon. I remember hearing the word bioweapon for the first time when I used to watch reports of the Iraq war when I was a kid. When the US had invaded Saddam Hussein's Iraq, and bioweapons were just spoken of as this possible concept that time. But I think we're living through it, sir. If you could elaborate a little bit more on the concept of bioweapons, just from whatever context you wish to reveal to the public, we'd really appreciate that. So, what's out there? How harmful can it be?
So it's called gain of function. Gain of function is, think of it as a virus on steroids. What you do is you take a virus, you isolate it, and then using technology, you make it more dangerous. So the symptoms on the human being who is infected with this virus are more severe, and the virus mutates frequently. So remember the first wave? The first wave of coronavirus, everybody was scared, but there was no requirement of oxygen as such. It was normal. In the second wave, suddenly this whole oxygen thing started coming up, that the country is really short of oxygen and people are dying because there is no oxygen, etc., etc. We've all gone through that. What is the mutation going to take in the third wave? So this mutates frequently, right? It is isolated, and this gain of function is, there's one doctor called Dr. Andrew Fauci in the United States of America who actually funded the gain of function research in these Wuhan labs in China. And this is how, you see, bioweapons is not a new thing. It's very old. It's almost a century old. So in the army, we call it the NBC, nuclear, biological, and chemical. These are three kinds of weapons of mass destruction. Nuclear we're aware of. Chemical weapons are also there, and biological weapons. So in biological weapons, basically viruses and bacteria are used. Gain of function is applied. They are made more dangerous. And then through water, through the air, through various kind of contagion, or various kind of you touch and it spreads, etc. That is how these viruses and these biological weapons are spread all over. Economies are shattered. People die. And this is another way of making a country weak. Now, except for China, everybody's economy has taken a hit. China's economy has grown in the coronavirus times. So, yes, this is a bioweapon, and this, in a nutshell, is what I'd like to say.